Hello everyone, this is Orlando from A Collector's Dream. And today we're going to continue our series of the 1888 Goodwin Champions, the N162. And we're going to talk about today, the Oarsman. And you're saying the Oarsman. Yeah, that was a big sport back in the day, and it still is today. It's basically rowing. And we're going to talk about the people who actually began the sport originally, and actually even designed the first boat or sculling boat, or whatever they call it. The World Sculling Championship is what it is. So let's go take a look at the oarsmen here. And here we are. So the first one's going to be Beach, then Jake Goodwin, Hanlan, and Teamer. And we're just going to do 4 cards today. And then we're going to move on to the pedestrians, and then the pugilist, and then the end of the list. So the first guy we're going to talk about is the most important person in rowing and sculling, I guess is what they call it. And this is Bill Beach. And this is by far the highest graded Bill Beach card. The highest graded in a PSA is a 5, and this, like I said in this set, there's some out there that are just happen to be an 8, and there are no other 8s out there, not even close. There's no 7s or 6s, I don't think, on the Beach. And this is just a gorgeous card. And just to tell you a little bit about Beach, and I actually gave one of these to Dylan. And Bill Beach is the best rower or oarsman of that era. And this is what a card right out of the pack, an 8 looks like from the 1888. And Beach was a professional Australian sculler, and he was unbeaten as the world sculling champion. And this guy was really, nobody could even challenge him. He won every match from 1884 to 1887. And he actually became the only sculler or oarsman to retire undefeated. And he was a blacksmith by trade. So he ended up actually designing and building the first, one of the first sculling or sculler boats, or whatever they would call it, rowing boats. And again, he was the world champion. And he came after the first champion, which was Ned Hanlan. And he ended up beating Ned Hanlan and a few times after he was challenged. This is when he was 33, when Beach was 33, he challenged Ned Hanlan for his first attempt at the World Sculling Championship. Hanlan had come to Australia that year to give sculling exhibitions. He claimed to be out of condition and went off on tours all eastern states. And that Hanlan, who was the champion at the time. The Beach, the race was on the Parramatta River in 1884, and then Beach challenged him, and Beach won by 6 or 7 lengths. After the race, Hanlan could not accept the fact that he lost the race and his reign was over. And after that, Beach didn't lose another race. So let's take a good look at the Beach card. You can see how the boat was in the background. That's how the sculler boat or the rowing boat. And there's Beach. There he is. Bill Beach, the champion Australian sculler. That's what they call him. Look at that beautiful artwork on that card. Just gorgeous. I just love the artwork on these cards. And especially if they're, the highest graded examples. And they just look, right out of the pack. And that is Beach in an 8. So let's talk about the next guy on the list. And the next one on the list is Jake Goodwin, or Jacob Goodwin. And here he is in a 6. And I think there may be one graded higher. No, maybe not. I think that this is probably the highest graded. And you know what? We're going to check it right now. But that's Jake Goodwin. Let's take a look at Jake Goodwin. I actually have 2 Jake Goodwins. I have both 6s. And I think these are the only 2 6s that are out there. SGC and the PSA. And let me take a look. No, there's not. There's actually, yeah, there's 2 6s in PSA. There's an 8. There's an 8 out there. So there is one better than this. There's no 7s. So let's take a good look at Jake Gaudour, and I'll talk to you a little bit about Jake. Let's take a look at this one right here. Get another beautiful artwork on these. Jake Gaudour was a Canadian. And he was one of 2 Canadian champions at the time to win the sculling championship. Not the time, but to win the sculling championship. He started early. He's from Orillia, Ontario. And his first race was when he was 17 years old. And that was back in 1880. And he won international fame when he beat Edward Trickett, the former world champion in England. And he was trained by another world champion, former world champion, which is Ned Hanlan. And we'll get to Ned Hanlan in a minute, because Ned Hanlan is more like kind of the founding father of oarsmen or sculling. And so Ned Hanlan was his trainer. And he raced throughout the 1880s. And he actually raced Ned Hanlan in 1887 and managed to beat him at a race in New York. And, even though he did race against Beach and some of the other guys, Gaudour really, wasn't one of the better races. And he says here that in 1885 was his most successful year. Of the 15 races he competed in, he was only beaten in 3. So he was pretty good, but in 1886, he challenged Bill Beach for the world title. The match was run on September 18, 1886. And it was in championship course in England. Let's take a close-up look at Jake Gaudour in England. And it was one of the most interesting races for the championship. The whole of the course was lined with excited spectators, it says, several rows deep. So Gaudour went ahead of Beach. Let's take a good look at the Gaudour card. So he literally took the lead, and he went ahead of Beach. Take a look at Beach here too. We'll take a look at both of them at the same time, and I'll tell you, finish off the story here. So Beach, again, was the championship, and he was undefeated, and Gaudour challenged him. So Gaudour, he went ahead of him. It says the contestants went away fast, and this exhausted Beach, who stopped rowing, and it seemed like he was beaten. Gaudour went ahead, but Beach, being cheered on by his supporters, made another effort, but did not catch his opposition. His coach then gave a strong encouragement to go, as he thought Gaudour was just about rowed out, which proved to be true. Gaudour also stopped rowing and slept on his boat for a short time before continuing. Despite another stop from exhaustion, Beach managed to row on reasonably strong and crossed the finish line ahead of the challenger. So he went on, and Beach was never beaten. Went on and retired undefeated. And then Gaudour in 1892 went on and teamed with George Hosmer, and they won the double sculls, and then he went on to win some championships also. So the next one, so those are my Jake Gaudour's cards in 6, both of them here. So the next one, of course, is really the father of sculling or of oarsmen, and that is Ned Hanlan. And Ned Hanlan, before Bill Beach, who of course was a champion for the most part, Ned Hanlan, he was a Canadian, and he was, again, from Canada, from Toronto. And he was the World Sculling Championship from 1880 to 1884. He also, wasn't beaten until Bill Beach beat him. And this one is in a 7 off-centered. And this is, again, the highest graded card of Hanlan. I'm pretty sure it is. I'll double check it in a minute here. Hanlan, yeah, there's a, let's see here. No, that's it. There's a 7 off center, and that's mine. So Yeah. No, actually, there is one other. There's a 7 and a 7 off centered, and then the other closest is a 5. So technically, this would be a 5 since it is a 7 off centered. But it is, again, the second highest graded, I guess. Either way, this is a gorgeous card. One of my favorites because it has like a 2 scene here. It has the portrait of Hanlan with a beautiful orange background. And then it's got the beautiful like scenery here of the little river in there. And that looks just, one of those cards that I like. So Ned Hanlan is widely regarded as Canada's first individual sporting hero. And they actually build not just a memorial and stuff, but a statue of Ned Hanlan. Supposedly it's still there. He's an Irish guy, and he started his rowing career really early in 1874. And he beat all comers, and he became the champion sculler of Canada. And then he became the champion sculler of the United States in 1878. And then Hanlan won, the Dufferin Gold Medal and a bunch of other awards. Again, he was the world champion. And, with his Triple Crown, the Hanlan Club, he won like the Triple Crown, and it was called it back in those days. And that was it. And then he defended the title, and Beach ended up beating him. And I'll see if I can find a little bit of the story here. It says that he lost the American title to John Teemer, and I'm going to talk about John Teemer. He's the next one coming up. So he lost the title to Teemer, but he ended up. It says in August 1884, he was defeated by Australian Bill Beach, and that was his big loss after that. But Hanlan was the first real champion, Oarsman champion. So let's take a really good look at the Hanlan in a 7. A 7 OC. Check it out. Just a beautiful portrait. Sharp card. And that's Hanlan, the Oarsman. And there's that beautiful picture there of the river where they did on the river. So that's Hanlan, Oarsman. Another one of the Goodwin Champion Oarsmen. So the last one is John Teemer. John Teemer was probably the least important of these. This one is in a 5. And as far as the Teemer, I think there's a 6. And there may even be a 7 in the Teemer. But let me take a quick look and I'll tell you the Teemer. Yeah, this is the only 5 that exists in PSA, and there is a 7, a 6, and a 7. So hopefully one day I'll upgrade this one. But this is the only 5 on the PSA registry right now. Again, all of these cards that I'm talking about, there's only 20 cards of Teemer that are graded. When you start looking at some of these guys, there's just very, very few of them that have been graded. And I didn't tell you the quantity of all of them, but I guess I will. But let's take a look at Teemer. John Teemer is an American oarsman. He again was good, but he wasn't one of the better guys. He did win the championship once, but again, he wasn't one of the top guy, but he was a champion. So there's Teemer. Just a beautiful picture of Teemer with the green background. That's their rowing uniform, I guess. And again, all these came in the Gypsy Queen, old Judge Gypsy Queen cigarettes. So that's the Teemer. So that covers the 4 oarsmen from the 1888 Goodwin Champions: the Hanlan, the Teemer, the Gadur, and the Beach. So you got the Beach and the Teemer as 2. The Beach and the Hanlan are the 2 main guys. Really the big guys. And then Gadur and Teemer are other great champions. They're all great champions, but when you break it down, the big guys were Hanlan, who was the first champion ever for the oarsmen or sculling or for that sport, and Beach, who literally invented the seat. Beach actually invented the seat that moved back and forth while they were rowing. And he supposedly invented the sculler, or whatever they call that thing, I don't know. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'm gonna continue the series. I got 2 more videos coming up on this. I hope you're enjoying this. I'm getting very few views, and it's understandable. Not many people are too excited about this and learning about these guys, but it's great history on some rare stuff. I mean, like I said, the Hanlan, there's only 21 cards of the Hanlan, of the Gaudur. There's only 24 cards of the Gaudur that have been graded. Of the Beach. Beach is one of the rarest cards in the entire set, if not the rarest card in the entire set. And the Beach, there are 11 graded total. And I had 3 of them. I had 3 of the 11, and they are now in other hands. One of my buddy David has one, and Dylan has the other one. So I hope I get more views on this. Please leave a comment. The next one coming up is going to be another fun one. So thanks for watching. It's Orlando from A Collector's Dream, and I'll catch you on the next one.